everyone, welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you've never been here before. My name is Tori, and today we're going to be doing a Q&A. I haven't done like a formal Q&A since like November, I think, so it's probably a little overdue. I like to do these fairly regularly in hopes that it's a good way to sort of communicate directly with you guys, and to answer some questions that people tend to have. So today all of my questions are coming from Instagram. I posted asking for them about a week ago. I actually included a couple of them in my last video, my updates video, because I had originally planned on my updates video being like the updates were gonna be really short and then I'd do a Q&A in addition. But actually the updates took up the bulk of the video, so I went ahead and decided to tell you guys that I would be doing this one. And yeah, I have another video that's coming out Saturday that I think you guys will be really excited about too. So keep an eye out for that. Let's just get started though, huh? Suggested safe substrates for hedgehogs. I actually want to do a whole video on this because I've done a fair bit of care videos over my YouTube lifespan, but I haven't really done one on beddings. I feel like a lot of people think that I only approve of fleece because that's what I use, and that's actually not the case. A lot of beddings work really well for hedgehogs. A lot of people prefer beddings. So there's a whole bunch of ones you can use. I will say though that cedar bedding is not safe. I don't really know any small mammals that it is safe for. I think some people use it for like horses and dogs. I don't even know if it's safe for them. So like avoid cedar. There is a lot of debate around pine, so I will tell you to do your research on that, and if you're going to use pine, make sure it's kiln dried. And then most paper-based beddings are safe as long as they aren't scented. Like I know KT has a couple of their bags that are like lavender scented or something like that, and you don't want to go there. But otherwise there's like too many for me to list, so just avoid the ones that they can't have. And if you're unsure about a specific one, you can probably search it or ask for advice from one of the hedgehog groups on like Facebook or one of the forums. You'll probably be able to find a specific answer for the specific bedding you're looking for, but like most generic, like Carefresh tends to be safe as long as your hedgehog doesn't try to eat it. A lot of pelleted ones are safe if they're not scented. Wood shavings are safe if they're aspen, stuff like that. Are you planning on getting any new pets soon, and what kind? Watch my video Saturday, you'll find out. How old are you? At the time of filming, I am 24. Also at the time of filming, I'll be 25 on Saturday, February 23rd. So 24 currently, but basically 25. Any tips for hoglet care? Good question. So by the time you get a hedgehog, they are pretty much the same as what an adult hedgehog would get. Like a fully weaned baby is fairly similar to an adult. There isn't a lot of special care that goes into it. One big thing for babies is I personally tend to prefer that babies are free fed, which means like you give them a bowl full of food unless they're gaining weight incredibly quickly, in which case don't free feed. This is just a generalized statement, but typically speaking, I think a lot of babies or hedgehogs under 6 months should be free fed, or under 4 months really. It depends on the hedgehog. But otherwise, a lot of their care is similar. Babies sleep more than adults, which is saying a lot because adults sleep a lot as is, but babies do sleep a lot. Some of them even like 23 hours of the day or 22 hours of the day. Like they sleep an outrageous amount. And yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of like specialized care for babies, at least in my opinion. I don't have a ton of experience with hoglets. So if you guys have any like specialized tips for very young hedgehogs, leave them down in the comments for this person, but that might help. How do you stay motivated? Good question. I guess I don't really know. I don't know that I have an answer for that because I lost a lot of motivation to film recently, and so I didn't. What sort of got me back on the horse is just sort of, I don't know, one day I just finally was like, yeah, I should film. So I did. To be fair to myself though, this channel is sort of a hobby for me, so I felt like I could take that time. In my personal life, I tend to work best off of lists, so if I have a list of things that I need to accomplish, I like to work off of that, like a to-do list, and I try to make it not extremely long because I feel like if it's too many things long, it becomes overwhelming for me, so I'll do day by day to-do lists instead of like big long week to-do lists because those tend to be really, really long. And I try not to mentally beat myself up too much if I don't get something done that day. As long as I'm getting like the most important things done, then that's cool. How old are hedgehogs when fully grown? I kind of touched on this before, but at 6 months they are considered fully grown adults. Can your hedgies cage be different temperature areas? How do you make the temp? How do you make it so that the temp is the same? So you want some sort of regulated heating, whether that be a ceramic heat emitter. I don't know. Yeah, you can sort of see Draco's there, the heat lamp. That can regulate the temperature below it, so that the cage is like an average ambient temperature. If you use a thermostat, you can also heat the room they're in. I don't really like that method, but you can use it with a space heater. Essentially, you want some sort of heat source to regulate the size of the cage, or to regulate the cage itself. The size of your cage and the type of your cage also matters in this situation. So if you're having a hard time keeping it warm enough, like your cage is too cold and you're using a wire cage, it might be beneficial to try something with solid sides, like a vivarium, a terrarium, or a bin cage. Essentially, you want some sort of heat source. If your cage is really, really large and you're using a heat lamp, chances are one end is the correct temperature while the other end is not, so you might need 2 lamps to heat a really large space. I know some people use like 2x4 CNC cages, and they definitely need 2 lamps to heat the entire area to one ambient temperature. Is it okay to wake up your hedgie when they are sleeping? I think people are pretty divided on this. I personally think it's fine as long as you're like not overdoing it. Like, I wouldn't keep them up all day long because they need to sleep. I also think it's important to keep in mind that if you're waking them up in the middle of the day, they're probably going to be crankier than they would be if you were waking them up really early in the morning or really late at night. Well, not really late, but later at night. So those are some things to keep in mind, but I don't really see a problem with waking them up in the middle of the day for like a bonding session, as long as you aren't expecting them to be like wildly active while they're tired. Some hedgehogs are, but limit your expectations. I gave my hedgehog several kinds of toys, from cat toys to bells. He never plays with them at all. What should I do? Good question. Some hedgehogs just aren't interested. My hedgehog Draco is not interested in toys at all. He wants his wheel, he wants his food, and he wants his bed, and that's it. Blaze was pretty similar. He played with toys a little bit when he was younger, and then not really as an adult. So, I mean, I wouldn't worry about it too much. It's not gonna harm them to not play with toys. As long as they are using their wheel and, you know, being active in all of the like normal hedgehog ways. Eating, pooping, sleeping, eating. Rats versus hedgehogs. Ooh, too different to pick, I think. Rats are incredibly high maintenance. They are a lot of work. They take up a lot of time in your day. They need a lot of cleaning. They need a lot of socializing, a lot more than hedgehogs. However, rats are more intelligent than hedgehogs and actually bond with their owners and don't have quills. So too different to compare, I think. Too different to choose one over the other. How often often do you feed your rats fresh food? Usually every day to every other day. It depends. I have a situation going on currently that I'll tell you guys about. My rats are apparently smarter than me. It's fine. They, I think, realize that I'm gonna give them the meal they want after they've finished their oxbow, their lab blocks, their pellets, whatever you want to call them. They, I believe, are aware of this fact and have been throwing their pellets out of the cage onto the floor, but behind the cage where I can't see it. So currently they're not getting fresh food very often at all because I'm forcing them into eating, you know, the food that is nutritionally balanced specifically for them, in addition to the stuff that I'm feeding. I feel like maybe I overdid it with variety and they knew it and they took advantage. I think that's the situation that's going on. Maybe. Here we go. This little rascal decided he would be willing to say hi. Hello. So, would you like to explain to them why you're too smart to eat oxbow? Would you like to tell them about that? Ow, his nails are so sharp. For some reason, his nails are a lot sharper than Salem's nails are. I need to get like a stone in their cage. I keep meaning to like swing by the hardware store and like get one, but then I forget. But he's got very sharp, pointy nails. I don't know if you can see them here. Oh. But yeah, that's fairly normal. They're not like overgrown or anything. He just has particularly pointy ones, so that's fun. So anyway, to answer your question, when my rats aren't refusing to eat their pelleted food, they get fresh food pretty regularly, almost every day. They get a variety of things though. I don't give them like the same salad every day, which is what tends to work best for my guinea pigs. For the rats, I like to give them like a very well-rounded diet. But right now they're not getting much. They're both looking at me. Right now they're not getting a ton of variety because it's working, by the way. Me not giving them a bunch of stuff is kind of forcing them to eat their actual food, so that's cool. Mission accomplished. But anyway, that was my big long story about how often I feed my rats fresh food. I do firmly believe that fresh food should be a part of your rat's regular diet. Apparently my rats are smarter than me. That's all. So yeah, I think that's it for today, because I think this video is getting very long according to the timestamp on my camera right now. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and hopefully I will see you in my next video, which should be Saturday. Very exciting news. Stay tuned. It's coming out on my birthday, even more exciting. Yay. But yeah. So stay tuned for that. I'll see you then. Okay, bye.